First of all, can you give a little introduction of who you are and where you are from?
Certainly, yes. My name's David Begley. I work at the Institute of Pharmaceutical Science, which is at King's College in London.
Okay. And what's your field of interest?
I've been interested for nearly 25 years now in the blood-brain barrier, which is the protective mechanism which shields the brain in the human body. And I've had an interest as well in drug delivery to the brain, because the fact the barrier is there, it makes it very, very difficult to get many medicines, many therapeutics into the brain. So this is a problem I've been interested in and working with the pharmaceutical industry to try to cure.
Do you also have a particular interest in the MPS diseases and related? Or?
For the last 10 years or so, I've had an interest in lysosomal storage diseases particularly, because clearly there is a very big problem there with delivering substrates, substrate reduction therapy, and chaperones, and enzyme, of course, to the brain.
You already gave your presentation. Could you give us a summary of what your presentation is all about?
Yes, what I explained for the audience was what the blood-brain barrier is and how it works and what creates it. And then how the barrier affects the transport of drugs into the brain. And it really does present quite a formidable therapeutic problem for delivering treatments to all sorts of brain diseases, not only the lysosomal storage disorders. And then I concentrated in the last part of my talk on the sort of strategies we might use to get proteins into the brain.
I heard in your presentation a lot of interesting results from your research. Can you give us maybe a look into the future? What will be the possibilities?
Well, I think in general the future will be re-engineering the enzymes. So we can now make the enzymes by recombinant technology relatively easily. And I think what we need to do is really get a much better understanding of how large molecules in general can go from the blood into the brain, and then re-engineer the enzymes in order to give them an affinity for these mechanisms, while still retaining their activity as a replacement therapy. It always takes longer than one hopes for. I think in the production of any medicines, you've got to make the medicine, you've got to prove that it's safe, you've got to get it on the market. But I firmly believe that there's good signs now, and this will be an avenue worth pursuing.
Very nice. And how do you like this conference so far?
I'm enjoying it very, very much. I've been to several of these MPS meetings before. And I think this is the largest and one of the most varied that I've been to. So I think it's an excellent meeting.
Are you here all weekend?
I'm here for the whole meeting, yes.
And how do you like the concept of doctors and patients in this congress?
I think it's very valuable. Most scientific meetings you go to, it's just a group of experts exchanging ideas, which probably most other people wouldn't understand. Here I think there's a good exchange of information. And it's very, very useful, I think, for patients associations, the scientists involved and the clinicians to have this exchange of ideas, because I think it helps the whole process of drug discovery and patient treatment along.
Yes, and also for the patients to get the information.
The patients have a much better understanding of what's going on in the field and what's being developed. And of course, the patients do drive the research to quite a large extent. I mean, partly by demand, but partly also by forming charities who give money for research. So it helps them form ideas about where things are happening in the field and where they can help.